because when I came here, my initial calculus class did not transfer correctly. And so I spent my first 2 years as an astro student going to like the physics, astrophysics, math, and chemistry departments to be like, dude, I have taken calculus. Like, please let me in.
Let me in.
Let me in.
All right, guys. This week we're gonna be doing a mukbang with everyone. We're doing a Hungry Man's TV dinner.
Show it to the camera.
Oh, I'm gonna. Ooh, yeah.
Delicious.
Jamie, can you bring that up?
Hey, Jeremy, you ever done DMT? Or it's Jamie, isn't
Jamie,
it?
yeah.
Jamie.
Hey, Jamie, you ever done
Hey,
DMT?
Jamie, you ever go bow hunting?
You ever smoke crack?
You ever do MMA?
You ever do MMA?
You ever been in a professional MMA ring? Or?
Oh shit, where's my
It really, that's when you know. That's how you know a man. Like,
That's on you, me bucko.
Well, is it coming through the door?
No.
It's not. Blast. Well, honestly, it's working fine without it right now.
I think I'm gonna grab a energy drink.
Okay, if you're gonna grab an energy drink, I'm gonna grab my Ethernet. I'll be right back.
And also probably add to this mukbang here.
What do you say?
He's gonna add to the mukbang. You know what a mukbang is?
I don't.
A mukbang.
It's like big food thing, right?
It's just when YouTubers eat as a content.
Hey,
as content.
Yeah.
Tim, you remember this game that you were supposed to get me?
Dude, I literally don't know what happened.
Well, I got
By
it.
the thing, by the router.
I also did this too.
Oh, dude, we played so much of that in Chicago. I love that game, dude.
It is so good.
You know they came out with an expansion.
Yeah, I saw. I was tempted to buy it, but I was like, maybe
they literally
play this
doubled
first.
the amount of haunts there are.
Oh,
so it's
really?
like twice of the size of the game. Yeah.
Oh,
I think it's
nice.
like 80 and 80. So
Yeah,
it's like,
that's a really fun game. I want to
Yeah.
start playing it when we can actually be with people again.
yeah, because people were like my friends don't like it that much because they're like, we always get the same haunts and they're always like mediocre haunts. I'm like,
Yeah,
can
we
just
did.
skip an omen if you
Yeah.
don't want. If you guys are making the rules, you can just say like, that's what happened to us. We got like the same one.
Wait, who else is playing this game?
Betrayal?
Yeah.
Pat got it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Pat, that is seriously like the funnest fucking game.
I love that game.
I got that and Secret Hitler, which
That's
is
Secret
one of my
Hitler.
favorite games.
I love Secret Hitler. I
I just got it. Yeah, I got both of those. So I'm like waiting for this quarantine to be over so I can like play these
Yeah,
board
I
games.
just want to play board games for the rest of my life. That's all I
Yeah,
wanna do.
it's so much
I
fun.
fucking love board games.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun. But yeah, so that's what I got.
Yeah.
I also want to point out that Mike said funnest, and he's supposed to be an English master.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna bring it up.
Um,
Mike
Glad
lost
something
at
did.
what? Oh, funnest. Yeah, Mike, that's not even a real word.
Also, I'm trying my hand at crochet.
Oh, Star Wars croquet.
Yeah,
Crochet.
I'm really fucking bad.
That's cute.
But I want to make a Yoda, real bad.
How old were you before you realized Django Fett was just a reference to the cowboy character Django?
I mean,
I was today days old.
I was also today years old.
His name is Django, and he's a gunslinger.
Django.
Shut up,
Right,
Mike.
so who is that?
He's just he's a
Django.
character from the 60s.
Oh.
Yeah, Django Unchained was like Quentin Tarantino's modern update of the character. I think he was a white guy.
Yeah, he was a white guy, I believe.
I got mistaken for Hispanic today, and that was exciting.
Was it racism or?
I mean, I went to a Colombian cafe to get some empanadas, and the guy came up to me and just started talking to me in Spanish, and
Oh,
I just
you're like what?
I just looked at him. I didn't even say anything. I just looked at him. And he was just like, "Do you want mild, medium, or spicy sauce?"
That's all right.
You should have replied in Hindi, and just really confused them.
Ever tell you that Freddie used to call me like he used to say Mira, which means look, and I thought he had that as a nickname for me. Oh,
Oh
he was
my
like,
God.
Mira, Mira. I'm like, I'm a dumb white kid.
Mira,
like-
Mira.
Whenever I go to the gym, I always get mistaken for Matthew McConaughey.
That
All
makes
right, all
sense.
right, all right.
I should have responded in Chinese to really just prove him.
Fuck with him.
All right. When we last left off, obviously things had happened. You guys had infiltrated the Manor Serobar after discovering it was Black Scars. Seemingly, you took over the house. A massive battle broke out, and you rescued Ilo, rescued Dalton's daughter Anna, rescued Griff Serobar, and managed to defeat the Black Scars, controlling the manor. But in the aftermath, Alistorus was killed, and you agreed to take over as Griff's sort of guardians for the time being. And after that, you retreated to the sewers to make your way out, and presumably back to your ship. So we're going to pick up. You guys are just coming down the ladder into the sewers from the manor, worn out after a day of fighting.
Ma's ready to get back to the ship.
I could also use a rest.
I'm ready to be
Says-
early anywhere but here.
All right then. Why don't we head back to the ship, rest up, and then figure out a plan from there?
You come down into this giant sewer chamber where earlier three of you had fought the Urgothals. Quickly looking over, you spot Vicentius standing down among the bodies of the dead Urgothals. He's just towing one of them with his boot, sort of a conjured magical light in his left hand. He looks up as you come down.
Well, well, well. What's the phrase? Speak of Zon-Kuthon and he shall appear.
Ma has never heard that phrase.
Disgusting creatures. He sort of he boots aside the Urgothal that he was sort of booting. Job well done, Tidehunters. Job well done.
You're welcome.
Killing
Yes,
monsters
without
is-
you.
Sorry, after
Vicentius,
you.
Without you, we wouldn't have been able to last a second in that battle.
Oh, it's no problem. As I said to you earlier, Vasilios, and you, Ma, stop by my manor at some point today. But for now, he just hefts several bags of gold out of his bag of holding, and just tosses them to you guys.
If you insist, Ma will.
Everybody but Ilo gets 2,000 gold pieces.
I'm gonna look that up and down and say, oh yeah, I didn't contribute or anything.
That's quite generous. Well, thank you.
The payment is for the Urgothals. Once I find Dalton, I will pay him as well.
Oh,
the
that
hell are
sounds
you?
very fair to me.
He surveys. You remember these large white carvings of this monstrous sort of lamprey-like creature that the Urgothals seem to have like scratched into the side of the stone floors and walls. He's sort of just observing one of these carvings, the biggest one at the center of the chamber. Ah, how I wish I didn't know that cursed form.
You know what that is?
Of course. I imagine every bloodsucker and every vampire in the world has some instinctual understanding, some reminiscence of what that is. It is Azortheth, the squiddling maw.
I'd assume that Azortheth, the squiddling maw, would be more like a squid.
No. It is a giant bloodsucker. Smaller versions, we call them lampreys. They suck the blood of other fish. One of Azortheth's other titles is the first vampire.
There's another Titan then.
Yes. I will be going now.
It's a horrifying patron to have, Vicentius.
It's not my patron. She gifted us with, well, our abilities, but it seems she was patron to these Urgothals. I imagine, well, the black blood self-perpetuates. It doesn't ever run out. It's not like a normal substance that way. I wonder if Thanatos promised these creatures some of Azortheth's blood to slake their eternal thirst.
You know a hell of a lot about this. Someone want to fill me in?
I told you, he's a vampire.
He's a vampire with the blood of one of the sea titans.
I imagine your Tidehunter friends will instruct you as to my nature, Paladin. He sort of eyes you warily, Ilo.
I'm gonna eye him warily right back.
For now, I must be going. I conjured several illusions to fool my servants into thinking I'd stayed at the manor. Any second now, they could be seeing through them. There's a burst of gas in the room, and he vanishes.
I hope he realizes that the Black Scars probably know exactly who he is now.
Well, Ma believes he can handle himself.
With him showing up in his vampiric form to fight Dominic, as well as the Sangariel guardsmen, showing up to support us. Well, told you we'll surely be able to put two and two together.
So, your new friend. He's whatever the hell they turned Ezra into.
A vampire, yes.
And not just your average everyday vampire, one of these black scar vampires.
Indeed. Though, I suppose that's some sort of good news, for Ezra at least. Vicentius mentioned something about him being a newborn, unable to control his powers fully. Maybe Ezra may one day turn out like old Sangariel.
I'm
Yes.
gonna look to where Sangariel disappeared and say, that just assumes that we can break him free of Thanatos. Or that he hasn't already. Something's going on with Ezra.
Ma believes that we could probably break him. What would happen after we kill this first vampire to all the other vampires?
I don't know. What happened? Real quick, what do we know? What happened to all of the crab people who had Carcanus's blood after we killed Carcanus?
Most of them seem to explode and die. There were a few survivors, you recall.
I'm gonna call the party's attention to that and say probably nothing good.
Depending on your perspective, Vicentius has lived for over 1,000 years. An explosion or death at all might be a tad bit interesting to him.
They do seem to want their mortality back, but is it up to us to decide? Shut up. Sorry. But is it up to us to decide whether an entire nation dies, even if that is what they want?
We don't need to deal with these questions right now. No one's talking about killing off this squiddling maw. Doubt we could even find it if we tried.
Ma believes we should get back to the ship, get arrested, and go to Vicentius's house before it's too late.
I
Too late in
agree.
the day.
I have some shopping to do as well before or after we meet Vicentius. So, because I have money now, and that's fantastic. And I'm just gonna shoot Ilo a shit-eating grin. Besides, Ilo, we filled you in, but you didn't fill us in. How'd they get the upper hand on you? Was the letter about your friend wanting to meet you, was it a trick?
There was no letter from Orion. The letter was from Toldir. They grabbed Zinni while she was out talking to that cat. And then essentially threatened me that if I didn't come alone, or if I let you follow me in any way, they wouldn't show up to the meet, and she would be killed.
Really? So you lied to us?
That's correct.
you realize we saved you, right? We outsmarted the Black Scars. And we could have done it then.
It is okay, Baji.
Well, I'm sorry, Baji, but you were in the habit of policing my actions. So I wasn't really concerned with, giving you full information on what I needed to do.
Is that a problem when you're policing everyone else's?
It's funny. I'm sitting here almost divinely inspired to be on the side of truth and justice, fighting for the right thing, and now you're concerned with my motivations. When I had given my soul to Berengar, you didn't seem real concerned because I was loyal first to you, Baji. So maybe you need to sort out your own priorities.
Ma believes everyone might be a little tense, especially Ilo, who has been in a dungeon for the last.
I'm tired. I look at Maul in a nodding agreement.
Yes, Ma believes that he needs a rest. Ilo needs a rest. Baji, you go out. You buy things. Ma will get Ilo back home safe.
Just count yourself lucky we even came back for you. And I'm just gonna shoulder past Ilo and walk ahead.
Ma's gonna put an arm on Ilo and be like, Ma was thinking about switching Baji with you in the middle of the night, maybe. Then maybe teach him a lesson, let him sit in a jail cell for a little bit.
I'm gonna walk kind of past Ilo, and then turn around and, if it weren't for him, I probably wouldn't have even come. You should be thanking him. I'm gonna keep walking.
If it weren't for who?
Baji.
Oh, Baji.
I'm just gonna shake my head. I'm gonna pat Ma's hand, and then turn and follow the party.
You guys, you don't have to take the way back that Alistorus told you. There are several manholes along your way that would lead you up into the city streets, sort of anywhere along the pathway. But you could take the 30 or so minute walk through the sewers back to the courtyard of the theater, or you could come up earlier if you want.
I guess we'll just go down a safe distance and then come out some random onto the street.
Yeah, I'm getting out of here as soon as I can.
But yeah, you guys travel for a safe distance, like 10 or 15 minutes, and then come up into through a manhole. You come up into some courtyard somewhere, just sort of between several shops. You see several will look like refugees just go, whoa, like several women like washing clothing just suddenly back up as the manhole just pops open, and 4 Tidehunters come out of this hole in the ground.
Sewer maintenance this time of year.
Nothing to worry about, just business as usual.
It smells terrible down there.
Okay. Today essentially is yours.
What time is it?
It's early. You probably come out of the manhole
10 a.m.
at 10 a.m. I'd say.
Yeah. So like, could we theoretically take a rest?
Yeah, totally.
Okay. I'm gonna go back and take at 6 p.m. we can go to Vicentius's and talk to him.
Okay. As you walk through the streets of the city, back towards the ship, most of you, you can immediately tell. What'd you say?
I am going to the academy.
Okay. As you sort of split up, but make your way to various points in the city, you can immediately tell the city is abuzz with rumors. People muttering to themselves, something happened. Something happened at Manor Serobar. People were attacked. Lord Griff is dead. As just all of these people, there seems to be a lot of disagreement as to what happened, but people are talking about this. This battle that's just broken out just ended. But where are y'all going?
I'm going back to the ship.
Back to the ship.
I'm gonna pick up some shrimpies along the way.
Okay, you going shopping then?
No, just for Lee Jacks.
Okay. Yeah, then take a gold out and you buy some more shrimp for your seahorse.
Well, I was gonna drop 1,000 gold on the ground and turn to Ilo and go, Ma believes you dropped something.
I'm gonna look that up and down and say, Ma, don't.
Ma's gonna scuttle away.
Oh, for God's sake. I'll pick up 1,000 gold. I'm gonna keep it segregated from the rest of my money though.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah. Got Ma's heart of gold. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
I'm gonna pull out my guitar. Just fiddle around with it. See if it's working properly. I sure hope those black scars didn't do anything with the mechanics of this. And did they, Mike?
No, it seems to be working.
Okay.
You think from just the way all of Ilo's gear was stored, it looks like they literally just took the gear, maybe gave it cursory inspections, and then just left it in the armory room. They didn't seem to mess with it at all.
Sure.
Interesting. So mechanically, it's fine.
Could you do a knowledge engineering check on this?
Mechanically, it's fine.
Yeah. But okay, three of you.
Out of character, I will remind you of that. Thank you for reminding me.
Wait, what's going on?
I forgot to mention that my kukri had been enchanted to spy on us.
Yeah, okay.
'Cause out of character, I had forgotten that happened.
Yeah, that's a thing.
And I need to mention that to the party.
Yeah, you want to do that now?
Yeah, actually, as we split off, can I say, and turn back to the party and say, Baji, take a closer look at that guitar.
Okay.
We thought that they had been spying on us. I know how they work. They enchanted my kukri when Toldir stole it to be the target of a scrying spell.
That's concerning. You don't still have the kukri on you, do you?
No, Toldir never returned. And it wasn't among my things.
Vasilios, is there any way you can check the guitar and the rest of our gear to see if it's been tampered with?
Oh.
You can you can cast detect magic.
Detect magic? Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to do. Yes. Why don't we wait until we get back to the ship? Chaos and prying ears here.
Yeah, you recall, Ilo, that Toldir called your kukri something called a bait hook, which seems to be like a tool of magical espionage that you sneak it amongst your enemies' belongings, and you essentially have a camera wherever they are.
Yeah, I will. At that point, I'm going to split off and head for the academy.
This is not good. If any of our equipment has been tampered with, then the Black Scars know everything from Vicentius to Griff. Mike, is there if I keep this in my bag of holding, if I keep all my the guitar is the only piece of equipment that I recovered for myself from the Alistorus's manor, right? Or Alexantes' manor.
Yeah.
Okay. So if I stick this in my bag of holding, is that soundproof or anything, or?
Might be.
Okay. All right. I'm just gonna wrap it up in some cloth and then stick it deep into my bag of holding.
You head back to the ship. The Windrunners return not long before you do. With Lewison at their head. He's muttering amongst a few of them. They seem concerned about something. But you arrive.
All good, Lewison?
I'm quite sure it's nothing. Don't worry about it for now. Let's let's just deal with the aftermath of this.
Okay. I'm gonna just walk by, feed Lee Jax, give him a pat on the head.
Okay, yeah. Lee Jax comes up, and you feed him.
How you doing, sport?
He seems to be doing well. He sort of whinnies.
All right, I'm gonna go back inside and I'm gonna go to sleep because I am tired.
Okay. Yeah. Do the lot of you? What do? You rest?
I'm gonna rest as well, and yeah, get some spells back.
Yeah. You for the next 8 hours, you just after quite a few events, you rest.
I'm going to talk to Goshan.
Yeah. So Ilo split off from the party. Ilo, you head through the Crosswinds district. Eventually make your way to the academy.
Yeah,
and walk within.
I'm just gonna step inside and look around for Goshan.
Yeah, you hear the sounds of sparring in the distance from inside. And you, following the sounds, you eventually come to him training a young man in the way of what seems to be like a katana. But he notices you're standing there and sort of smiles to himself. And then after a few minutes, maybe 10 minutes, his lesson with this guy ends. And he puts the wooden katana away and walks up to you. Ah, Ilo, it is good to see you. Your friend Baji was quite worried about you when you left your friends.
It's good to know he cares when I'm not around.
Oh, don't worry about him. He thinks with his emotions. You understand? I have seen into him. I know this.
Doesn't take seeing into him, with all due respect, Master.
Yeah, I suppose that's true.
Do you mind if we spar while we have this conversation?
Not at all.
I've been chained up for 4 days. I need to move.
I must say you don't look good, my friend, but sometimes that is the time you need to spar more than any other time. And he grabs a wooden like a stick, like a long quarterstaff, and takes a stance across from you, across this training dojo ground.
Yeah, I'll pick up the best approximation of a glaive, and take my own stance.
Okay. The two of you begin to clash as this happens. He sort of brings his quarterstaff down on you, and you just deflect it. And he just whirls back, twists the staff, and just says, "So, what is it you want to speak to me about?"
Nothing. Too many things. Keep going, and I'm gonna go on the offensive.
Okay. With sort of surprising strength for somebody so old, he beats back your offense, and just returns and begins pushing the attack. Then, and you spar like this for some 10 minutes.
I'm gonna be silent for most of that, and then finally I'm gonna say, I've sworn a lot of oaths in my rather limited lifespan. And I've always thought that they gave me strength. This rigidity. This unyielding strength. When I came to Thalassia, I was trying to kill myself. Because I thought that's what I deserved. And I thought I deserved that, and so I sought it out. And I didn't question it because I thought it was the right thing. I thought I was going to do it the right way. I sought death like a soldier. The way they teach you to seek death. Go where the fighting is thickest. Go where you're needed the most and lay down your life if you have to. And that's how looked at it, and when I saw the opportunity, I took it. And then I started looking for the right reason to live. And I thought for a long time that maybe that was protecting Baji, but he's just arrogant. Assumes command based on a bloodline. Assumes command over people who are not his, based on a bloodline that they pay no homage to. In a kingdom that doesn't exist anymore.
You
noble bearing. Like a fancy coat.
The Rudras are famous for that. Every one of them tend to start off their lives as firebrands, hotspurs. But towards the end of their life, even they attain some wisdom. But I don't think this is about Baji, Ilo. This is about you. You put too much stock into him. And by that I mean, you were looking for something to swear an oath to, looking for some rigid discipline, something to die for. Baji never asked for you to swear these oaths, did he? You swore them of your own volition.
To give myself something worth fighting for.
Yes, but
all I know how to do is fight. And I thought with myself as a healer. I thought I was supposed to be a healer, but I'm not. I'm just a soldier. That's all I can do, and I don't know why. But that's all I've got. And I'm just gonna like break this sparring match off and shove him away, and I'm gonna sort of flourish this false glaive, throw it to the ground, and pick up my own and say, and I define myself by this weapon in my hand.
I will say, this is the thing with rigidity, my friend. If you make yourself as hard as stone, as hard as wood, he just takes the quarterstaff in his hand and just slams it on his knee, and it just splinters into pieces. You run the risk of cracking and breaking.
That's exactly what keeps happening.
You didn't take my first lesson to heart, my friend. Recount. Why did the Blade Lords come to Veneas originally?
To shape this place.
No.
The push and pull of it.
The push and pull of it. It is not just the push, the shaping. It is also the pull. We came here to learn. You might be asking yourself, what is there to learn from a city of thieves and greedy, bloodthirsty, murdering nobles? But that is adversity. We came here to test ourselves spiritually against these people. We do not only try to change them, we try to see if they can change us. And if they can change us, then perhaps all our oaths and all our discipline amounts to very little. If we remain untested in our lives, well, our lives end up meaningless. I think you must learn to stop trying to push and start trying to pull. Allow other things into yourself. Allow for true adversity within yourself.
Ezra. He took Zinni. And I don't know where she is. And I don't know what he's doing to her. And I don't even know where to start. Without her, I can feel myself weakening. I can feel everything that I've become since I came here breaking back down. Just like when I lost him in Coralia. But it's different this time. Last time, I sent her away. Because I wanted to die. Because I wanted her to go choose someone else so that I didn't have to bear this. But this time she was taken from me. And all I can think about is getting her back. But I'm starting to think that I don't know why I was chosen. I thought it was because I could do this, because I was this soldier. But I think that if Shaylin really did send her to me, she's playing a longer game than that, or a subtler one. And she needs me to be something more. I can't just be a soldier. When I abandoned Baji and Basilios and Ma, and the Windrunners, and all of them, all of these people that I've taken under my wing, I was behaving like a soldier. And I'm not anymore. You can't have a leader who's going to run in first and give up his life when he's still needed. You can't have a leader who's unwilling to bend. I need to learn to bend. And I need to learn how to not just fight.
Is that why you came to me then? To learn how to bend?
Yes.
Well, and he strides towards the center of the room. Then what are you waiting for? Come! And he raises one half of the quarterstaff he still has.
I'm gonna put my glaive down, pick up the wooden one again, and just come at him.
Okay. I think that's where we're going to cut away from that. As you, for the next several hours, just presumably mechanically, you begin training.
Yeah.
The next 4 hours. Beaten down, exhausted, somewhat skinnier, 4 days imprisoned, gets out, fights a battle, and immediately finds a weapon trainer and trains himself.
Hey, it's spiritual training now too.
Yeah,
that's
true.
I have a whole bit, by the way. There's stuff here that I'll I have to.
Okay. So we will go to the rest of you. Well, actually, what are the rest of you doing?
I'm resting.
Yeah.
Well, isn't Baji getting stuff?
That's true. We can go to Baji. Baji, you got to remember that you're muted, my man.
I think that I was resting and then going to buy stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, are we awake?
Yeah. You don't even really have to be sleeping. You slept the night before. You're just sort of sitting around, recovering from your wounds and from the battle. So yeah, you over the course of 8 hours, you guys rest, and at around 5-6 p.m. You suddenly feel yourselves back up somewhat to your former strength.
Okay.
Ma's ready. We should go to Vicentius's.
During that time, can I just be like tinkering? Is that?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just kind of making like almost like a pendant-sized brass circle, with like a rotating, pivoting sphere in the middle.
Okay. Give me a craft check.
Oh, can we do that? That is a 19. No, wait, 21.
Okay. Yeah. With the 21, you make the hell out of that thing.
Okay.
While we're resting, I'm gonna walk over to Riki.
Yeah.
My friend, how's it going?
Good. We kind of kicked ass in that battle today.
You did, and that bomb of yours also kicked ass.
Oh, I know. I heard it.
I'm very happy we decided to bring you on to the crew.
Thank you, Captain.
Um, so I have some things that I'd appreciate if you could make for me.
What'd you have in mind?
Well, I need a couple of things. I need alchemical cartridges for my dragoon and for my flintlock. If you're up to it.
Chemical cartridges. I might have to buy the recipes for that sort of stuff from one of the gunsmiths in town. If you're willing to fork over the gold.
I absolutely am. Just tell me how much it'll cost. I'm going to need dragoon cartridges, and I'm going to need regular paper cartridges.
All right, I'll go see if I can find out if I can buy some of these recipes.
All right, 50 from the former, and then 25 for the latter.
You got it, boss.
All right. And all right, if you can do that, that would be very helpful. Another thing that I might need is, well, I have one of these, and I'm just going to pop out my hidden flintlock pistol. I was wondering, well, one, would it be possible for you to do this with the dragoon?
He takes a look at the mechanism. I don't know. That's pretty advanced tinkering.
I might be able to, but I would probably have to take a look at it for a few days.
Han, you're muted, man.
When I have the chance at night, when I return, I will give it to you. Till then, is there any chance you would be able to construct a flintlock that would be able to store an Ebrium bullet without it affecting me?
Without it affecting you?
Yes.
I don't know. This stuff is sort of unprecedented territory.
I know, but you're, I'd say, an unprecedented goblin.
Well, that's true. But how does the Ebrium affect you?
Well, right now it's not affecting me at all. I haven't noticed anything thanks to this thick wool bag, and I'm thinking if you can make a flintlock with perhaps a thicker barrel and chamber, that might be able to safeguard me against its effects.
Well, boss, to be honest, you're putting these bullets in your gun and you're firing them moments later. I mean, the Ebrium shouldn't have that much of a chance to affect you in the first place.
I understand. It's simply a precaution in case I need something, a quick solution.
All right, I can begin preliminary measures, but it'll be expensive. Guns are expensive. A lot of magic goes into their construction.
I understand. Make the plans, present them to me, and we'll see if we can move forward.
You got it.
All right. Okay. Now I'm gonna walk over to Ma. What are you doing?
Ma's ready to go. Ma's been waiting.
Actually, Ma,
Just standing here on the deck, looking at the sunset. It's beautiful tonight. Ma's very much enjoying this day.
Actually, Ma, I was going to ask you if you could make me something.
Ma can think about it. What is it?
I need an enchantment for my dragoon pistol. Can I just name it? Is that meta?
Name it.
Okay. It's the cruel enchantment.
Okay. Give Ma some time to look this up and see.
Maul pulls out his iPhone. Give me time to.
Hey, it's an eye tome.
A high tome.
Yeah, we can say for now, Maul, you probably can make it. So you can look that up.
It'll be a +2 enchantment, so I think it'll cost me 4,000.
Hold on, let me just look up. I need cause fear or a death tome.
I mean, Baji, your dragoon is already a +2 weapon, so this will bring it up to a +4.
Wait, it's
a +1 lucky dragoon.
Right. So +1 comes from lucky.
No, it's a +1 lucky dragoon.
Wait.
Your dragoon is enchanted.
Oh my god. Okay, I've just been playing it with the same stats as my flintlock.
Your flintlock is also enchanted. They're both +1 weapons.
Oh shit. Okay.
But that would be bringing it up to a +4 total. So I don't know how expensive a +4 weapon is.
Wait, wouldn't
Very-
it be a +3?
If it's a +2 enchantment,
It's a +1 enchantment.
Cruel is. Then yeah,
Uh,
it'd be bringing it up to a +3.
give me a second.
I also Ma would need a cause fear, a scroll or a death knell scroll.
I think we determined basically, Maul, you don't need that. But if you don't have it, you add a +5 to the check.
Oh, okay.
But you essentially
have
can't
such
fail
good
the
check.
Yeah, you can't fail the check basically, so it doesn't really matter.
'Cause
It
I
becomes
have,
like a DC like 10 then.
Oh, and I have a
Price tag is
+12.
10,000.
What'd you say?
By the way, the price tag is 10,000, so half that to 5.
It's 5k, and Ma would probably want 2k on top of that. So it would be 77k.
Mike, is it possible to switch around the +1, replace it to get cruel?
No.
Or no? Okay. Well, what? So you want how much for it?
Ma believes it would be 5,000 gold, but Ma wants 2,000 on top for his troubles.
You're
The life
muted there, buddy.
I only have 4,000, so why don't we take a rain check on that?
This is okay.
All right then. Shall we go shopping then? And then I want to see Goshayan for a bit, if you don't mind.
Ilo, you train for 4 hours and you come back. You know they've been sleeping for 8 hours basically, so you came back about halfway through their rest.
Okay, can I take a rest in there?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so I'm gonna when I wake back up and sort of I imagine a little ways after the rest of the party.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have prepped 2 lesser restorations.
Okay.
And I'm going to immediately cast those on myself to burn off my 2 negative levels.
Yeah, sounds good. You cast the spells, and sort of the enervation sort of leaves your bones. You're still skinny. You were always sort of wiry, but you're now almost like bony skinny. That's still there, but you think with time, the magical sapping of your strength is gone. And with a little bit of time, you'll be able to get back up to your normal strength.
Is all of my healing still halved?
No.
Excellent.
With those restorations, you just needed a bit of time, I think, to distance yourself from the Ebrium.
Okay. I'm gonna just sort of like flex my arms back and forth a couple times, like I'm working out, a Charlie horse or something.
Okay.
And then look around at the party and say, "Okay, I'm back."
And we are ready to see Vicentius then.
And
That's the
to
plan.
to shop a little first. What time is it, Mike?
It's like 6 p.m.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Do we? I mean, okay.
I want to go.
And-
Let's go see this vampire then.
Okay.
And then
You
shop later?
If they're still open, maybe.
There's always tomorrow, Baji. I don't know if you need it all today, but there's always tomorrow. You head to Vicentius's manor. You come up and immediately the guards recognize you and let you in. You are led into the sunroom, which Maul and Dalton know of. And you see the site of sort of in the manor gardens behind the manor from the sunroom. You see Joshua just playing his lute for Griff and for Anna, who are both Anna's conscious, and they're both just sitting with 2 goblins in the gardens, and Joshua's just going ha ya ya and just playing his lute as they sort of seem to be relaxing. You also see Dalton just sort of standing with his hands behind his back, silently watching over his daughter and Griff in the gardens.
Hey, are they like all together, or is like Dalton like a ways off?
Dalton's a little ways off.
Okay, I'm going to walk over to Dalton.
Okay, you go outside and you walk over to Dalton.
Detective?
Oh, I'm still Dalton right now. Okay.
Yeah.
One.
Thank you very much for helping us. The operation went off pretty well.
I heard something about the manor burning down. Was that you?
It may have been.
That was stupid.
Ah, well. Hindsight is 20/20. I thought it would be best if I caused as much chaos as possible.
Your hindsight might be 20/20. My, regular sight appears to be at least somewhat better than yours.
I'm not the one wearing glasses.
You're not the one who has a ghost burn across his eyes.
Yeah. He's only got one eye too.
10.
Just 10 vision. He's just got 20 vision.
10 vision. How's your daughter holding up?
Hard to say so far. She's conscious, and that's better than she was. She doesn't seem to remember much of it. The journey here.
I'm gonna saunter up here too, and give Dalton a mid forearm shake. I love mid forearm shakes.
The manliest shake.
I will return that. Stelios, good to see you.
You seem well.
Ish.
Ma's good.
Much longer.
Not to speed up the process or pry, but you mentioned a certain trait your daughter has. Ocean cold, I believe, is what you said.
Vicentius seemed to be the one to know that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dalton.
Yes. You see Vicentius just stride out into the manor gardens as an old man. Well, if we're going to discuss things like that, perhaps we should venture to the East Wing. Leave the children to their games for the moment.
Oh, my mistake, Dalton. It must have been Vicentius.
I'm gonna gesture to the party.
Wow.
Inquisitor, you will accompany us?
Sure. I'm gonna walk over and just whisper in Anna's ear that I'll be back and kiss her on the head, and then I will follow. Dalton will follow.
Yeah,
Two Anguses.
Yeah, this is weird.
That will be Angus. Before I join the others,
Weird.
Han, you gotta mute yourself, man.
So I'm gonna look over to before I join the others, I'm gonna look over to Griff and Anna. Just give them a smile and a wave.
Yeah. They both sort of look at you uncertainly. Anna has never seen you conscious, and Griff seems to dislike all of you still. But he, sorry.
Ma's just gonna walk past and crop dust the kids, and giggle to himself.
You see, both of the kids moments after you do this just go and the goblins just burst out laughing, and then Joshua just goes and just stops the song he was playing.
That's good. I like to hear that.
But yeah, okay. So you guys all follow Vicentius?
Yeah.
He waves to the children as he goes back in, sort of limping as he is as an old man. He unseals the giant gate to the east wing of his manor. Royal blood, he says. Walks in, and then immediately just the illusory disguise disappears, and he just becomes his vampiric self. I will have to get rid of that identity soon. I'm thinking about killing off Vicentius the Elder in the next few months. And I've grown bored with the character. And he just closes the door behind him.
We'll take credit for it if you want.
Before you say anything more, Vicentius, I have to warn you, there's a chance that our equipment may be tampered with and bugged.
Bait hooks, you mean?
Yes. Is there any way you could discern whether they are?
Totally forgot to do that.
He casts detect magic on all of you. Moments later, no, there's nothing. Trust me, if you stay in Veneus long enough, avoiding bait hooks become normal enough. It's one of the few magical items most of the Shinayori are well versed in. Enchanted candelabra, a golden candelabra, and gift it to one of your enemy houses. Suddenly you have a plant.
Ma does not like this city.
But let us be off. And he ventures to the library where there's the hellhound just napping in front of the fire still. A day later, still doing it. And he just begins stroking it as he just sits in front of the fire.
I will follow him, and also I will follow him.
Yes.
Ma's just gonna pace like around like the bookshelves while we're listening.
I'm gonna follow him. I'm gonna look at the hellhound and go. Does it come?
It does not come. It just one burning eye opens on you and it just growls darkly.
Oh.
I wouldn't try making friends with him. Cinder, he really only likes me and Kentworth.
Ilo's gonna frown at the hellhound. It's trailing above.
Yes, he's only really half hellhound. I rescued him from the Ashlands when I went there for an expedition a long time ago. He was, well, it's a long story, but he was injured, and I nursed him back to health, and I took him back to Veneus with me. Oh, you wouldn't believe the return journey. I had to go through 3 ships. Never mind. But besides that, shortly after the battle, I returned to my manor and discovered Dalton here. We together awoke Anna, but unfortunately the Inquisitor has decided not to stay. It's unfortunate. He would have been useful in this war against the Black Scars.
Did he mention where he's going?
Home.
I'm standing right here.
Oh, I forgot. I'm sorry. That's confusing. Ilo and Dalton.
All right, we are both here. I'm gonna turn to Basilius and say, "I'm going home with my daughter. I'm sorry to leave you in your war, but
Oh, that's
look out
fine.
for my child first."
And after Ma made a whole place on the boat for you.
Well, Ma can change that. Ma will change that back. Ma needs to give Ilo his space back. Not that Ma got rid of Ilo's space. Ma wouldn't do that to you, Ilo. Ma would not convert your space. We kept it.
I just look at Dalton and I say, "It's all right. You must do what is best for you and yours. Thank you for your help, and I wish you the best."
Thank you for yours.
Yes, if your daughter truly is ocean cold, as we believe, then it would be best for you to leave as soon as possible. It is possible the ocean sphere summoned her here for a reason, and the longer you stay, the closer we become to finding out what that reason is. And I doubt any of us would find that pleasant.
Why's that?
Why is that?
What is this power she has?
As we said, I'm going off theories. The ocean has a tendency every now and then, perhaps once every few centuries, to summon certain individuals, call them here. Few things can stand in their way when they are summoned thusly. It is possible, going off theory, that this is what Anna is. She was called here for a reason. The ocean, in its infinite wisdom and infinite power, decided this particular girl from this particular country was needed. As I said, it's probably best for all of us in this room that she's taken as far away from the ocean as quickly as possible. Otherwise, we might discover what ends the ocean had in mind for her. And you'll discover about the ocean, its ends don't often work out for us common folk.
I'm sorry, but I have to ask, isn't it just foolish to fight the ocean? From what I've heard, it gets its way one way or another. Whether it's the rule of 13, or having an ocean call.
And here I thought, Baji, that your whole goal right now is to circumvent the rule of 13. So don't sit here and tell me that the ocean always gets its way.
And besides that, we are all, well, most of the people in this room are mortal beings, fighting against hopeless odds, fighting against time itself. It's kind of your bread and butter, isn't it?
I'm not saying you shouldn't go home, Dalton. I'm just out of concern. What happens if you brought a ship home and the sea decides to sink it?
What happens if I decide to stay here? and whatever it has in mind for my daughter gets fulfilled. I'm lacking good options, Baji, but the best one is to go home.
This trait, how exactly does it manifest itself?
It seems to vary, and there seems to be much disagreement over that. As I said before, some even called Alexander Serobar an ocean call, despite the fact that he was Thalassian. It's again a term for chosen one, almost chosen by the ocean. He succeeded where everyone else failed. He had quite a heroic story if you look at it from his narrative's perspective. The hero whose family was killed and who killed the other family in return, and then went on to become a great leader for decades. That's got some narrative strength, doesn't it? But in the end, even he died. As for how these traits manifest, it depends on what the ocean has in mind.
And, well, is there anyone more knowledgeable about this sort of thing?
I suppose you could take it up with the more scholarly vampires of the Ashen Court. Or perhaps Anamaria and Mariad. She is more knowledgeable of the ocean than anyone else in the world. As for me, I've lived too long and I have too many memories. I deal in philosophy, but is the ocean ever truly knowable?
When I was in Titus's Gate, before I entered the ocean sphere, I had visions of a sickly elven woman on a ship. Damragar Alaglosa, I looked at the rest of the party. It felt as if the ocean had sent me to her. I had never known this woman. I had never seen her before, but just sleeping, I could feel her. I was there with her. And that was the first week I decided to pull the trigger and get on a boat in the ocean sphere.
Well, you are a remarkable group of Tidehunters, I'll say that. A powerful Stormweaver with great potential, a Dreamborn Druid, Paladin of an outsider god, and a prince trying to reclaim his homeland, and an Inquisitor.
Don't count me with the rest of these fools. They said I'm not fighting their war.
Come to think of it, I think each and every one of us found each other in odd circumstances. I was shot off a boat, should have died, and was washed up on an island. Ma, the entire ocean sphere decided to will him into existence.
Ma is very glad he did not have to kill you all.
That's
He feels
true.
much safer with you now.
That was Ilo.
Ilo drifted here on a piece of wood.
Well, it is as the Thalassians say.
All things flow together.
Perhaps you are all... Oh, enough of this theory talking. Before we know it, we'll all start to begin our own houses in Veneas.
Dalton's going to stand up and say, the rest of this is between a lot of you. You're the ones who have to go on and fight this. I'm taking my daughter. By the end of the day, I'll be gone.
Is there anything we can do for you?
Don't let it be known that I've left. And better yet, if you can, obfuscate where you think I've gone. There is a certain individual who I believe may be on my trail. And the farther he stays behind me, the better.
Who is this?
It's internal business.
But if we knew, then perhaps...
This is another Inquisitor, maybe.
It's internal business.
You realize that makes it harder to throw him off if we don't know who he is.
You don't need to know who he is.
Ma believes that we've been through enough together that we could, believed we could talk about this.
I'm sorry, but I really can't.
Ma's mouth is very terribly open at all times. Ma may say something to somebody and not realize it.
The fact of the matter is, then...
Ma does not want to get your child killed. Ma wants to know a little more. Ma is scared now.
It's fine. It's, we'll just pretend Dalton died in the battle.
Dalton died in the battle. Ma, no,
Just-
Dalton died in the battle.
Just
Yes,
keep
I
yourself
can-
to us.
I can have some false death records crafted for both you and your daughter, Inquisitor. Gods know there'll be enough immolated husks of corpses by the end of the day. Hell, I could even have a pair of glasses affixed to one of them.
I would appreciate it. Thank you for all that you've done.
Mhm.
And
I don't think I
Dalton,
would have gotten Anna back without the love of you. So thank you.
Dalton,
Yes.
you're a good man. If you need anything at all, I know a letter and is a far ways away from wherever you're from. But just know you can call on us if need be.
Let's pray it doesn't come to that.
As for your path out of the ocean sphere, I was going to recommend chartering a ship up through the Iridian Strait. But perhaps it would be wisest for you to go northeast through the Scarlet Foothills, up through Eurethu. In the land of the dragons, the sea will be less likely to touch you. And I believe they have just driven out a black dragon cult. Should be safer.
Ilo's gonna perk up at that and say, "They drove it out."
Yes, recently, in the past few days. Some buzz around the Scarlet Foothills. Most of a great black brood was eliminated. Its matriarch managed to escape, as well as a few broodlings, but for the most part, their power was broken. You don't have to worry about it, Dalton. Dragons naturally fear the ocean sphere. They stay away from here. They know who rules in this part of the world, and the
Okay,
ocean
yeah.
has very little patience for dragons.
I'm well aware of the tale of Highfall Essentials. I'll take my leave. There's a war on, I hear, and I understand that the five of you are something of commanders. Don't let me keep you. See you
Good
at the-
luck out there, Dalton.
And a lot rest of you. If I may offer a bit of advice to each of you. Basilius, I understand that you have family here in the city. And that
None.
there's contention there. Don't give up on them so easy. You've only got the one family. And those people, whether you like it or not, they're with you forever. I should know. Ma, you and me both were hunters. And that's a powerful thing.
Ma respects you.
And I respect you.
Few Ma respect.
But for what it's worth, I understand from what little I've picked up around your ship that you're the shaman of your tribe, something to that effect.
Yes, Ma's the leader.
The would-be leader, but that perhaps, well, I guess remember this. There's a reason that we thinking beings have become the apex predators, and it's not because we are the quickest or the strongest. Remember that what makes us stronger is that we outthink our opponents. And if you can remember, well, I've said my piece.
Ma's gonna get real close, put a hand on your shoulder, and just put his head towards yours.
I'll return the gesture.
Ma hopes that you have a fulfilling life with many grandchildren. Many, many grandchildren.
None of those too soon, please. Baji. There's a lot of things that I want to say. The simple fact is, We come from differing cultures. You seek to reclaim a homeland. My people conquered ours in the first place. I've never known a war. I've never known a place that I didn't take from somebody else.
Pick up the kitty. He wants to be picked up.
But I won't get into that. That's dealing in philosophies and semantics. What I will get into is this. You fancy yourself a war hero. You fancy yourself a captain and a leader. And I see those things in you. I see that potential. But not while you play this charade of the adventurer. Figure out who you are. Are you the dashing captain? Or are you a king? I've been a general. I've been a hunter. And I've been a father. And they all require different things of me. And this person that you want to be, find harmony. Or don't. But figure out who it is. I wish you the best of luck. You're all Cancon has got.
Gonna nod. Thank you. And I'm gonna offer my hand.
I'm gonna return the gesture, and then I'll nod to Vicentius, nod to Ilo, and take my leave.
Okay. Vicentius just watches you go, sort of unblinking. Okay. Oh, I would have liked to have his mind on our side. Thing about these black scars, well, they all work together, but I think the thing that can truly defeat them is the individual's capacity for, shall we say, stirring the pot? Acting unthinkably.
Ma's very good at that.
Yes.
But maybe we don't need him at all. If he's such a detective. The thing about men who think too much, they always end up doing something you can think of.
That's true. Remember that
I
in
don't
this.
know, Ilo. I think he would have benefited a bit from thinking.
Baji, we're going to need to have a talk when this is all over. Now is not the time, but if you're going to snipe at me, we can take this outside.
I'm gonna crack my knuckles.
Oh, gentlemen, sometimes I wish I had a black scar's hive mind so I could keep you from pawing at each other's throats like little kittens.
Yes, Ma believes there is bigger fish in the sea.
First
we
of
can
all,
catch.
and namely, Paladin. Again, Vicentius just seems to have he's being very wary of you, Ilo. Just like, he seems to regard you with some distaste.
Is this guy giving me? I mean, I've got detect evil. Is this guy evil?
He's wearing a ring of mind shielding.
Right. I'm gonna look him up and down, and I'm also worried with him, and I'll say, look, I can make the distinction between a monster and a monster if you take my meaning. But while you're wearing that, well, I can feel it. I can't get a read on you. And you can imagine that after I was betrayed by a man who stylized himself as my friend, who I saved from captivity in Berengar's hold, I might be a little skeptical of anybody who doesn't want me to get a read on them.
When you mention Berengar's name, you suddenly feel an itch, and you sense the eldritch hive mind of Vicentius, and he sort of he makes eye contact with you, and he senses you too. Essentially, you both sense the other as a black scar for a moment.
I just thought of that as like the Spidey sense.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. Just you're like me.
Yeah.
Lose the ring and we can settle this. We don't have to act like we don't have to play this game for predators.
This ring? And he sort of gestures to it. Oh no, I like to keep people guessing, my friend. You see, I don't know. I find that aspect of reality quite boring. I think people are far more complicated than oh, what is it? The 3 general tiers of existence.
Well, there's
But
al-
if you like to consider that simple morality as your guiding compass in this life, then feel free, my righteous friend. Go ahead.
I'm gonna shrug and say, well, there's another way to settle it, and I'm gonna smite him.
Okay.
Oh no.
Oh no. Okay. Is he
Gosh,
yours-
glowing?
we should have left him dead in this
Your-
shitty fucking jail
Is
cell.
Ilo glowing? Is
Your
Ilo
s-
glowing?
your smite has no effect.
And I will feel that and nod and sort of let my posture fade away from. I will just relax. That's what I'm looking for.
You see just his eyes just begin burning. And he just looks at you. Do not make an enemy of me, Paladin. You are 2 decades old. I have lived 100 decades. I will burn everything you love if you defy me. Do you understand? I won't kill you. You will live on in my dungeon. Your friends, though, their heads will decorate the sides of your cell. He just stands up.
I would say friends is a very strong word.
You just see the light in the room just dim as he stands up.
Vicentius,
I'm
relax.
just thoroughly unimpressed.
I'm just gonna pull. I'm just gonna push Ilo back a little bit and take a stance in front of him. You'll have to excuse him, Vicentius. And those threats aren't going to work on him. He doesn't seem to care what happens to us.
I'm not.
In a moment, Vicentius just he seems to gain a sense of himself. I apologize for that, and he sits once more on his chair.
Kentworth did say you had a flair for the dramatic.
I'm sorry. Sometimes the blood wants to speak, and sometimes it does. As for you, Paladin, the only interest I have in you is your relationship to Dominic. Speak of it. How do you know him?
I'm just gonna stay standing in front of Ilo.
Baji, sit down. I'm not going to attack I'm not going to attack the man. The smite fizzled.
That's not why I'm standing here, and I'm gonna sit down.
Vicentius takes off the signet ring, Ilo. You can cast Detect Evil on him.
I will detect evil.
You find something quite remarkable. There is evil there. There's evil just boiling up in his very existence, but it's being hidden by something. It's being clamped down by something. You get the feeling it's almost a struggle for him not to be evil, but he seems to have, through sheer force of will, overcome his evil nature.
I will take an appraising look at that, and say, you give me too little credit. What that says to me is far more impressive than what I get off the other people in these rooms. Nope.
He just dons the ring once more.
I know what it is to suppress something hungry. You ask about Dominic. His real name is Ezra, and he was my friend.
Ezra.
We met on a ship called the Snake Fair. How long ago was that now? A couple months?
Probably half a year at this point.
And about 6 months ago. Our alliance was short-lived, but we will say that it was thematically potent.
Ezra, that is his name. I could sense it in him while I fought him. He is not like the other vampires of my hive mind. If a member of the Ashen Court came to this city, I would be able to sense them hours away, but it was like he snuck up upon me. I was sitting in this study, and suddenly he was there. I could sense him, not a mile away through the city. I ordered my men to form up. We gathered the members of your crew, and I attacked, but strange. He seems out of sync with the rest of those who bear Azortheth's blood. I think perhaps it is because he is a newborn, or the theory I favor more is that
The
perhaps...
Ebrium.
I'm not sure. It might, but the thing is, Canconi, Vicentius holds out his hand. Give me one of your Ebrium bullets.
Did you know about that?
I can sense them. I can feel them.
All right. And I'm just gonna pull out the bag and then just kind of almost invert it so that I'm holding one of the Ebrium bullets by the wall.
It just turns to liquid in your hand, and he just, it just begins forming around Vicentius's hand like he's spinning it. He turns it into a teardrop, turns it into a tiny like miniature sword, and then just turns it back into a bullet. And then he just holds it in his hand, and he just, and casts burning hands. Fire just erupts over the side of the room. Moments later, he just and sucks the fire back in. Yes. I wouldn't rely on this against those who glean their sorceress abilities from the black blood. It seems whatever this substance is, we are immune to it. In fact, it resonates with us on some level.
That's
Dominic, Ezra could do that as well. Manipulate the Ebrium.
Yes, I wonder if it is only members of my hive mind, those who bear Azortheth's blood, who are able to do this, but I can feel it. He just floats the Ebrium back over to you. For 95% of spellcasters in this world, Canconi, that would dismantle their ability to spellcast entirely, but for us, for me, for Dominic, presumably for Thanatos and his shadow rages, I wouldn't rely on that.
What is Thanatos? You all seem to know. I'm just like out of character. Can we just assume that they catch me up on what Vicentius has told us about Sea Titans?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So
but are you still asking this question?
Yeah. What and I guess this is sort of my like. I'm gonna start asking about. Hey, catch me up. Can we just skip past that?
Yeah. You've been explaining. You basically explain everything. And then he ends with Vicentius ends with as for Thanatos, I believe he's just a half elf. He somehow gained control of one of the bloodlines, used it to gain sorceress abilities. The same way you, Stormweaver, have a bloodline that allows you to control water. However he gained his powers, I believe it is the black blood in which his power originates. He is there's no way around it, he's a bloodbender to some degree. But the black blood, it allows him to do everything he can do with normal magic.
I'm gonna sort of going back against. So, the Socorro Camaway. That was Berengar's bloodline,
Yes,
and I'm the last.
I believe you are. Okoro Kamui, the last wielder of her blood. Oh, she rages even in death. As perhaps do you.
So then we can't kill Okoro Kamui.
Why is that?
I imagine I would find it rather uncomfortable.
Explain.
When we killed Karkanos, the crabman infected with his blood, when we struck the finishing blow, those crabmen exploded.
Not all of them, but
Most of them.
Oh, Ma would imagine that you're not under the spell completely.
Yes.
If not all of them exploded, maybe not all of them were completely under the spell.
You see, each Sea Titan, there are constants and variables between all of them. Each fundamentally eldritch hive mind is the same. Each bloodline is the same in that it creates a hive mind, and that it connects all of those who wield the blood, but there are also fundamental differences. For example, your bloodline, he points to you, Ilo, gives you this ability to rage. Mine gives me eldritch vampirism, Thanatos is whatever it is, seems to give him his sorceress abilities, but
Could that be the last Titan, the one that we don't know yet?
there's two you don't know yet.
Who I don't know. Could that be the last two?
Possibly. But more than anything else, who can say if killing Azortheth would kill me or members of my race? I simply, again, this is unprecedented magical territory. I suppose I could start again a correspondence with Anomaria and see if she knows, but that would take a while. For the time being, though, I suppose you must operate under the assumption that killing a Sea Titan will kill all of those who wield its blood.
So if we're operating under the assumption, and we have the chance to kill the Scuddling Maw, how would you and your kind feel about that?
Well, if she posed a threat, if she was awake, I imagine the Ashen Court would already be moving to communicate with her, get her to take back her blood and make us mortal again.
But if we could make you mortal instead?
If you can find a way to make us mortal, well,
by killing Azortheth.
That would either make us mortal, or make us very mortal by killing us instantly.
Oh. Which would you prefer? Well, I'm assuming you do have a preference. But
I do believe us mortal beings are bound by inertia, just as so many things in physics are. I like living. I prefer not to die. I prefer not to change states like that.
I'm asking if you were given a choice between a very, very quick death or immortality for the rest of your life, which one would you choose?
As I said, I like to keep people guessing.
All right. So what's our next move, boys?
I suppose we should discuss the political situation in Veneas. The word on the street is that Griff Serobar is dead. Liashin Tremalkier, while not dead, is no longer sitting on the Vinewood table since he's hunted by all the other Shinayori. That leaves 5, and I'm one of the 5. Of those 5, Silviana Lunarian is generally regarded as weak and incapable of rule. Ricardius Vino and Desdemira Alabaster are at each other's throats. One of them must die for the other to assume the chair. That means they're out of the running. And that leaves Lord Diadal, Fionara Kenishai's fiancé. She or he, he's popular. People like him. He's clever. I do believe he was the one behind the massacre at the Mask of Lights. The mask people are now calling the Mask of the Red Death.
That is... And I'm going to look to Vasilios. Quinn?
Now that the climate has changed a bit, I'm sure you surmised, but what I said, or what my friends said when I first arrived at this manor, was not entirely true.
You are a Vela. Of the Naosi.
Yes. The last. The youngest. Quinn is my older brother. A sadist, manipulative piece of shit. Him and my other brother Cairo are in the city. And it seems like they're doing quite a good job at taking their stranglehold on the Vinewood table.
The Velas are powerful spellcasters. Formidable opponents.
Yes.
And don't forget Sander.
Sander, it seems, has been shipped somewhere else. Possibly Tidalis with my father. That's what Quinn seemed to say.
2 of your brothers? Lord Diadal is Quinn Vela in disguise?
Yes, and I believe Cairo was most likely the man pretending to be Liashin Tremalke's spy master.
It's Odyssean.
Odyssean, yes.
He did come to the city some 5 years ago. Quickly made a name for himself.
So, are we going after your family then, Vasilios?
Might be a good idea. If you believe Quinn is unworthy to rule as chair of the Vinewood table. What are you willing to do to prevent that from happening?
Quinn is the worst of the worst. A bottom feeder, the scum of the ocean sphere, and Neos. I have no qualms having him killed or killing him myself.
Okay. Perhaps we should consider a plan for that eventuality.
What is this? What do you get from this, Vicentius?
Me, I protect my city.
Must we also gain control of the Vinewood table, Ma would believe.
No. Trust me, I've had 600 odd years to establish control of the Vinewood table. Brings too much attention to myself. Plus, what point would I have to do that? What reason would I have for seizing power that way?
Let me grab a sense motive on this, motherfucker.
That
I
does
have
bring
a
up a question, though.
Yeah, I'll just hit a sense motive. Just, I don't know what it is. I got a fucking 8. All right, well, anyone else want to hit a sense motive?
I'll hit a sense motive as well. But
And I'm also gonna take a pee real quick.
I'm also gonna just say, I think Vicentius realizes enough that he's more than enough power with what he has at the moment.
Satisfaction is an art form that must be practiced daily. You humans, they say, you are born with voids in your hearts, and you spend your lives attempting to fill them up with various things. Sometimes religion, sometimes love, oftentimes power. Oh. I have no interest in most of these things.
You have more than satisfaction, though, don't you, Vicentius? A vampire living among the Shinior. Or at this moment, pulling strings to find out who will become the next head of the Vinewood table.
Perhaps that is a leftover of my time as immortal. I have the void within me too, and it's satisfied by, again, flair for the dramatic.
This does bring up another question, though. 2 empty seats. We eliminate Diado, assuming that his, fiancé can't take the seat. We have 2 empty chairs, maybe 3. What happens to them?
For the moment, in time, the Vinewood table will vote on new houses to arise. Despite all common decency, Sect is in the running for that. He's greased the right palms. He's slit the right throats. I would reckon several of the Shinaors, even Desdemira Alabaster, might vote to raise Sect to the Shinaori, give him a seat at the Vinewood table. Besides that, there is another house on the rise, Sindragar. They're said to be in the running for a seat at the Vinewood table.
I have mixed feelings about allowing Giovan Sect to rise to such a position.
No, it would be disastrous. He is a good businessman, but he is cruel and a hypocrite.
So what would you do about that to protect your city?
Worst comes to worst, and he is elected. A blade in the night. Poison in the cup. A war of the gentle blade, you understand. Paladin, you surprised me. You're starting to think like a Venean.
I'm starting to understand how my opponents think.
Well, maybe we don't have to worry about you starting a war of the gentle blade in the near future, when we can put an end to it now. Maybe Giovan Sect stops being useful to us very quickly. And if he does, and if we put an end to him before he can make a bid, and you give us some payment for that, I think that would be acceptable, don't you think?
Perhaps we could discuss such an arrangement. If you Tidehunters would be willing to assassinate a political target in cold blood.
He's a criminal.
Justify and rationalize as you will. He doesn't see you coming. Probably regards you as friends, even.
He wouldn't by the time I killed him.
He almost got us killed with that house, bullshit.
Literally dropped us into a pit of manticores when we first met.
Yeah, Small is not a fan.
But you're right. Is there any real justification for us to underhand him like this?
See how he reacts when we give him the information he asked of us.
That's
There's
true.
one more thing. One more possibility, isn't there? You say that he's Naosi in truth. That precludes him from this seat, doesn't it?
When it comes down to it, at the end of the day, what gains you a seat at the Vinewood table is your ability to eliminate your competition. That is the essence of the War of the Gentle Blade. We, these other Venetians, will claim every day that they will allow no outsider, no Naosi, no Oldlander, nothing else have a seat at the Vinewood table. They want pure blood Venetians. But that doesn't mean much when one's family has been wiped out by assassins. If you killed all of Desdemira Alabassador's children, left one alive, and said, I will have a seat at the Vinewood table, she will give you that seat. And she will smile at you and do business with you. Nothing precludes anyone from power in this city. Even you Tidehunters, mercenaries though you may be, no, if you killed enough people. That is the nature of mankind. Unabashed, unhindered, man unleashed.
Maul really does not like this city.
Yes, for all the veneer of civility, for all the veneer of, well, high society, this is the biggest den of snakes in Thalassia.
It's a festering wound, is what it is.
Gentlemen,
The Vinewood table isn't our problem.
Muted.
The war we need to fight is the one with Thanatos and Vector. We still don't know what the plan is, but we do have an in now. Giovan Sect promised us an audit to take us to Vector if we told him what was in this portrait room. We have a convenient lie. We have every way to go and see our old friend. I say we start there. I want to know why Tobias got himself captured, because I do not believe for a second that he's there for any reason other than he wants to be.
That sounds like a place to start.
find out.
Why he's imprisoned himself. If you can interrogate him, find out what Thanatos' plans are. He's moving. I know he's moving. I can feel him.
All right then. To Sect then.
To Sect.
All right.
And Paladin. Dominic is no longer in the city. But if he returns, I will seek him out and see about rescuing your angelic companion.
Thank you.
He's disconnected from Thanatos' hive mind somehow. I'm not sure where Dominic rests in all of this. He's a wild card of a kind. Thanatos, though he once controlled him, no longer does. I believe something severed that connection, though I'm not sure what. But he's also not a member completely of my hive mind either. He walks a middle ground, this Dominic. He kills everything in his path, acts for his own mad reasons.
Clarify. He's no longer under the power of Thanatos. No longer following orders.
Yeah, Ilo, you remember in the depths of Coralia when you fought Dominic over in the Carcanos fight? Most of that fight was you severing his connection with Thanatos, using your holy powers. So it's likely he simply hasn't recovered from that.
I nod at this and I say, I think that was my doing. I didn't entirely understand it at the time, and I didn't think it would be this permanent. But I severed him from Thanatos beneath Corellia.
How did you do this?
I'm just gonna let my eyes bleed blue. How do you think?
You healed him. Concentrated positive energy to eradicate the virus that is the Black Scar. Interesting.
Good vibes.
Good vibes. Good vibrations.
If only I could do it.
Yes. I'm not sure how that worked, but it seems to have. I don't think the Black Scars have any control over him anymore. As I said, he's acting on his own whims. But he's angry, he's confused, he's in a rage. He doesn't know what's happened to him, and he's lashing out at everything in his path.
Thought we'd bring him back. But that's not Ezra anymore. I don't know if it can be again. I have a sense, and I don't know what's telling me this, that he and I are push and pull, the ocean's great joke. When I became what I am, it dragged him down to balance the scales. And he feels it too.
Sangoriel, you mentioned you might be able to get in contact with Anna Maria.
Yes.
I believe I have a few of her belongings, and I would much appreciate if I could talk to her.
It would be over letter. The Knights Seaborn are moving, but they're moving in Myriad. A few scouts here and there in other parts of the ocean sphere, but I don't know why they're mobilizing. Supposed to combat the threat of the Sea Titans arising. It will take time, but I will try to establish communications with her, but we're speaking on the scale of weeks.
That's quite all right. Any way you can get word.
And I will send out my feelers.
Thank you.
So, we go see Sect now, and then after that, the most pressing issue is going to be Diadel and maybe Tremelcia. You said you were coming up with a plan to finish Diadel?
I said, perhaps, well, gentlemen, you did just infiltrate the manor of one of the Shinayori and wipe out dozens of men. Maybe not you personally or you alone, but if push comes to shove, straight frontal assault on the manor of House Kenishai and an assassination of this Lord Diadel is not out of the question.
No, but that means a war of attrition. And the last bodies I need to drop. I know I might not seem the soft type, but I prefer my crew not die.
Nonetheless, Vicentius, start drawing up the plans for such an attack. We don't want to need to. It's better that we have the plan than that we don't.
I will send a few of my operatives and see about creating a floor plan for the Kenishai Manor.
I would prefer to be able to strike at Diadel alone. Basilios, do you think one could be lured into a duel? Something that would pit him against, well, one other. Something where we could isolate him, not let this spill out into violence.
I would be willing to duel him.
It's hard to say. It's been a long time since I've really been around my brothers, and even when I lived in my manor, I was mostly separated from them. Sander's the only one I had a slightly positive relationship with. But Quinn might be arrogant, but I don't believe him stupid.
Oh, Ma believes arrogance runs in your family, so maybe he could be called out.
And again, he's not doing this, well, not entirely for personal gain. This is for the good of the family. He He probably
Well.
wouldn't make such a play if it jeopardizes his position here, and how much work him and Cairo have put in over the years.
Yes, but if one would do this in front of his men, maybe then he would have to.
I'm not so sure Quinn has a good relationship with anyone.
I don't
Yes, but
think
also-
Adu is the most smart route to go with. Keep in mind we have Ibrium, and Daedel is not a Black Scar. We corner him in an alleyway, maybe get a shot in him, and then his entire plan falls on his face. All his magic falls on its face. He'll be easy pickings.
Maw feels so dirty even thinking about doing that to a man.
Well, if you knew what he's done to other people, Ma, you might not be so forgiving.
Yes, but Maw would rather have justice done through brute force, not mischievous tricks.
Well, you've come to the wrong ship,
It's Maw's ship.
and I'm captain.
This is true.
I'm
So,
gonna s-
I think Vasilios is the only one who doesn't have a command position. You know, captain.
Well, he,
Ilo's like captain of the soldiers. Baji's like overall captain, and it's fucking Ma's ship.
well, Vasilios is the
Stormweaver.
Stormweaver,
That's true.
so he's got a good relationship with the ship.
That's fair.
I got the best relationship with the ocean, man.
That's true.
Well,
that's
that's
true.
true. Yeah,
ship
that's
ship
true.
doesn't
Yeah.
matter much when the
Yeah.
ocean just destroys you. Yeah.
Also, what the hell is Ezra's last name?
Isn't it your character, bro?
Yeah, I don't remember what the hell his last name is. And Angus texted me it a while ago, and I was like, "Ah, fuck. Ask Mike because he probably has my character sheet."
I think it's around here somewhere, but I think Angus. I gave Angus permission to come up with a new last name.
I think it's
oh
Smith.
yeah, Kyrian, Ezra Kyrian.
Kyrian. Okay, I can't think of what the fuck his last name was. Whatever. Okay, so Kyrian. Cool.
All right.
That works.
I'm gonna stand up. All right, gentlemen. If there's nothing else, let's head out.
Let's go see the sex.
The sex dungeons.
Maw's ready.
Let's go see the sex
Yeah,
dungeon. Okay, you Vicentius waves you off, and you leave his manor, and begin to trek into the Shadow Marks.
Is Griff still at the front of the manor in the courtyard?
It's in the back of the manor. These gardens are in the back of the manor. So yeah, you don't walk by him on the way out.
But is it okay if I just say hi to him?
Yeah.
Anyway? Okay.
Han's like, I cannot live with somebody who doesn't like my character.
I just want to lone wolf and cub this. All right, so I'm gonna walk over to Griff.
Okay, yeah. He's Joshua's currently just walking through the gardens with him, just going, yeah, and just like singing on his lute. Though Griff seems somewhat bored of him at this point.
Okay. I'm gonna I see him and what does he stop or?
Griff, he seems to be in enwrapped conversation with one of the goblins.
All right, I'm gonna walk over and kneel in front of him. Griff, how are you doing?
He stops his conversation, sort of looks at you cold-eyed. You see one of the goblins, who you realize is female. She takes a step forward and says, "Now's probably not a good time."
I see. I'm sorry. If you need
You just have to give him time, Captain.
I understand. If he or any of you need anything, just let me know.
Yes, Master Vicentius has been quite good to us.
And I'm glad, but regardless, keep your eyes open.
Okay. They go off once more.
I'm just gonna be leaning sort of against the door frame at the back door to the manor, watching this. And as Baji comes back through, I'm gonna say, "Do you ever surprise yourself encouraging young boys to continue the cycle of violence against, other houses and other men, and just keep fighting eternal wars? Does it ever bother you?"
stop being an asshole, Alo? He's a boy who just lost his father and a very close friend. I'm not encouraging him to do anything.
Get stronger. Give him a weapon. Yes, you're not encouraging him to do anything at all, Baji. You're not creating any more.
Don't be
Well,
stupid, Ilo. People are going to try to kill him.
yes, Ma believes that Baji does have a point. The lad is, well, a child of great importance in this city, and also maybe believed to be dead, but this is the prime opportunity to teach him his own defenses. Ma was killing Kay by his age, well, and, well, doing much more dangerous things than hanging out with a girl. Ma believes he should be trained, or else he will die, and then nothing. Pointless life.
Maybe you should be trained.
I'm not so sure he has the luxury of a passive life, Ilo.
I'm not sure he does either. But there's some... Don't you all feel that there's something wrong with this?
Ilo, he doesn't have to choose revenge. But he's not going to listen to any of us.
I know there's a lot. Ma believes there's a lot to be said about this whole city, but we cannot change it overnight.
The best we can do is be a friend to him and be kind to him and hope he turns out better than us.
And teach him tricks to survive.
Sect.
Okay. You venture out of the Vine Towers district, walk 40 minutes or so into the Shadow Marks, which is like on the other side of town almost. You pass by on the way the manor you cleansed, the haunted house, and you see several men moving lots of furniture in. One of them is one of the black-coated sect men.
I'm gonna wave one over. Is Giovan in?
Oh, no, I'm afraid he's still at the old manor. We're in the process of moving him in, though.
Alright then.
Now is the right time to move the master in.
Why is
For-
that?
No. Well, why he bought this manor in the first place. A seat at the Vinewood table, legitimacy, the appearance of legitimacy.
Right. Anyway, yeah, he'll be in his study?
Yes, at his old manor in the Shadow Marks.
Alright. I'm just gonna nod the other guys over to follow, and I head over there.
Okay, yeah. Now you walk for some 40 or so minutes and get to the Shadow Marks, and get to the sort of black marble manor at the center of the Shadow Marks. Men stand outside, guarding it at the wrought iron gate, but they recognize you upon you showing up. Are you here to speak to the master?
Yes, we are.
Okay. Good. Sorry, I got
Can I
awesome.
repeat before that we do this?
Yeah. Okay. Let's take a fiver because I
Take
got
a
too.
fiver.
I'm gonna hit myself with a bark skin walking in here.
My God, kid.
Also, yo, a real quick question. But
By the way, Angus,
Eat.
you're really playing the Ilo as a dick card.
oh yeah, really
You're
layering.
really
that
just
on.
playing it.
Ilo is having personal problems and he's taking it out on you.
As
Fucking-
long as you're not taking it out on Ma. No.
Everyone was like, "Oh yeah, Baji was really worried about you," and he was like, "Oh, "Fuck Baji, I hate him."
Yeah,
Baji's a
piece of
piece of shit. I didn't do anything. I'm being nice. Well,
No, Ilo is having internal drama and he's taking it out on you. I apologize for him.
that's
No.
fine. I'm just gonna give it right back to you. I'm gonna pretend to not give a shit about you.
Now I need to
I like it though. No, I like the friction. I like the friction dynamic. I like getting, what's the word? Just shitting on you.
Okay. So you come up to the Sect family's wrought iron gate, and you immediately see several wagons covered with furniture and the like. People loading them. It seems Sect is in the process of moving out at this point. But it's I realize it's like the fucking end of The Godfather. It is the fucking end of The Godfather, where they're all just moving out of the mansion. Yeah, you are waved through. You get an escort of some 4 guards, who take you into the study of Sect.
Mike.
Yeah.
So I just want to clarify. I should be good to go for another hour.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, you see Sect. You walk in, you see Sect sitting at his desk, writing some things. There's a young man next to him, and he sort of points to something on a letter, and the young man goes, nods, and then runs off past you guys. But he smiles as you enter. Ah, gentlemen, I presume this time you've been inside Vicentius Sangariel's portrait room. Either that, or you're lacking in judgment.
You'll be pleased to know that we have seen the inside of his portrait room, and we have your information. If you have what we want.
You know, it just so happens I had men outside Singario's manor today who saw you leaving. And yesterday. But that's beside the point. I took the liberty of having the prisoner transported back from where I had him.
And our good friend's notebook.
Back, yes.
Back to the dungeons under this manor?
You see him just eye you just very warily. Not anything you said, Baji, but just make me some motive checks.
Yep. We're gonna fucking kill this
Yep.
man.
Goodbye. Sect.
Goodbye, Sect.
That's a 15.
I'm not sure I understand what's happening right now. I gotta
Make the check.
12.
I'm not very good at this. I'll guidance this.
We only had to roll 2 dice.
Hell yeah.
Oh, I got a 22. Wow.
22. What was yours, Baji?
13.
15, Ilo.
12.
1?
12.
Okay. It doesn't take a whole lot. I think everybody but Vasilios sort of gets that he's watching for your reaction to what he's saying. He's watching to find out if you know the prisoner is missing from his dungeons. He seems to be eyeing all of you up. Yes. Not that you would ever know, but I didn't have the prisoner on these grounds. I had him transported to a private prison.
Interesting. One of Alabassador's then.
He looks at you, just locks eyes with you, Baji. Yes. Indeed.
I'm just gonna
So you ask him?
smirk, like just slowly start to smirk.
Well, I suppose it doesn't really matter. If he's here now, and we're here now, and we have our information, and you're ready to make a deal, then we'll do it.
Fulfill the deal.
Vasilios, hold on. This is just too good. I'm sorry. I'm reveling in this moment. The would-be Shineori. And you lost your man, didn't you?
Excuse me?
You don't have him, do you? That is what I got off of him, isn't it?
No.
No.
Wait, what?
We didn't
Basically,
know.
you guys weren't supposed to know Tobias wasn't in the dungeons.
Yeah, how did we figure that out?
You figured that out
when he was
by
drunk?
pretending to be Sect, walking into his manor, and disguising yourselves as him.
Ilo doesn't know that. though.
So Sect
I
is
completely misinterpreted that. I'm sorry.
Sect got a whiff of what happened that night and is looking at all of you very closely to see your reactions.
No, then I have no idea what's going on. Please, can I
yeah.
let's take a
No,
step
you're fine.
back? I
Retcon.
retract that statement.
Yeah. He seems suspicious of you.
of me specifically.
To say the least.
Yes. One of Alabaster's private prisons. But, well, you have your information. So, water under the bridge. Tell me, what did you find in his portrait room? Not that it
No,
matters so much
we-
anymore. It seems there are several vacancies on the Vinewood table.
I suppose
There
that's
are.
true. Go, Baji.
There are several vacancies on the Vinewood table, and you probably could make a bid for each and every one of them. But
But information is power in this city.
exactly. And if you want to secure that seat, you're going to need all the power you can get. So, why don't you show me the notebook? And that's all I ask. Show me the notebook. I'll give you the information. And then you give me the notebook, and you will give us the audience with the prisoner. Does that sound fair?
I must say, I have no idea what you're talking about with the notebook. There was never any notebook on the possessions of the prisoner.
You told me.
I told you I would give you a ghost of Valas in exchange for this information. You started talking about a notebook. I don't have any notebook, but if I give you the ghost, chances are he'll know where the notebook is.
Prove to us that you have the ghost.
He's currently in my dungeons. You see the
Prove
boy, but the young man walk back in. You! Yes, sir. Who's in my dungeons right now? Blindfolded. Yes. And he goes back. There's a ghost of Valas in my dungeons.
Sense motive.
Sense motive.
I'm doing it.
I'm gonna look at the book.
Also, Mike, did you come up with a name for Giovan?
Israel. AOC name.
No.
Not one.
Fuck.
I'm gonna look at the boy that Sect has just called out and say, son, what color is your ghost's hair?
Black?
That's all. Give me a description on this ghost.
He just looks at Sect, and Sect just waves his hand, and the boy walks out of the room. There is with your sense motive checks. What are you getting?
I got a
15.
nat 1, a 5.
Two
Also-
nat ones.
Yeah. Also, real quick, does my +2 armor bonus from my ring of protection come over on a wild shape? Because I mean, like my wisdom modifier and stuff would come over with me, but not my armor. Not my.
Oh boy. I think the answer is yes. I believe the answer is yes. I think that magic item effects continue to hold even when
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I would think. Because like my wisdom modifier would still be going with my headband.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Continue, Mike.
What were your sense motive checks? Who? Baji
a 5.
and Pat. You don't get good reads.
Yeah, that's
15.
what I figured.
I
15.
rolled a 3.
Oh, what?
A 3.
Okay,
I think
you don't
said-
get a good
I
read.
thought he said 40.
What were your sense motive saying? Sect seems
yeah.
to be telling the truth.
Okay. I'm not very good at reading people in this light, Baji, but I have a feeling he's down there.
Now, if you would please tell me, I've just been dying to know out of sheer curiosity. Why would somebody send me a note, and he brings the note out and just lays it on the table, telling me there was something interesting in Vicentia Sangariel's portrait room? I simply want to know. I'm simply dying to know.
I'm just gonna start laughing.
Oh, I'm not so sure you want to know, Sect.
I absolutely want to know, my friend.
Vasilios, simmer down.
Oh, it's hard not to be hot-headed with this.
Just fine.
It is hardly as interesting as Ma's life.
Can we at least go see the ghost? See him.
Please, I am giving you everything. Just tell me what was in the portrait room.
Just tell him, Baji. He's going to show us the ghost, or he's not. And if he doesn't, well,
Okay, all right.
I promise you, he's there.
Okay, fine. You want to know? Vicentia Sangariel is in deep with the Odyssey.
Um,
Posters, memorabilia, just everywhere.
posters. Make me a bluff check.
Good thing I'm good at these. I say. 28.
He's got to have a good sense motive if he's in Benayan. Well, if he's in Benayan.
This motherfucker right now just nat one.
Oh, yes. He's so overwhelmed by curiosity. He can't.
Yeah, he his eyes just widen slightly. The Odyssey, you say? The Radiant Odyssey, that bunch of idiot paladins and knights?
Not
Yes,
just
the
the
Odyssey.
Inquisitors too.
Inquisitors, yes, yes.
The Iron Malachar he seemed quite fond of.
I'm surprised you even know that name, to be honest. He's just tapping his hand uncomfortably on his chair.
Gotta run it.
Well, I suppose you must have some proof of this.
He gave us something. We're gonna give him whatever that was.
I think Baji has it. It's like a ring or something.
Yeah.
It was a ring. It was a ring. Also, Mike, didn't you say the Odyssey operates like very much so out of Naos, or has a big presence in Naos?
They're big. I'll say this. They're Naosi, but it would be like saying the Crusaders operated in France. It's like, yeah, they kind of did, but their main place of operation was Thalassia. They're from France, but they go to the Holy Land sort of thing. So it's like that's sort of, yeah, it's like, so they're Naosi, but their base of operations in
Okay.
Thalassia is Starhaven.
I'm gonna produce the ring. Yes, I mean they're not that small of a name. I know they're from Naos or whatever. Naos, right? That's where they're from. But they do have a big presence in Thalassia.
He just he looks at the ring and just looks at all of you. Why did you take the ring? Oh my gods. Boy, and the boy runs in. Get in here now. When the boy gets in there now, take that ring and find the deepest canal in the city and get rid of it. I never want to see that ring again. Why did you take the ring? The rings record everything.
It's just the Radiant Odyssey. I'm not so sure I understand your concern.
It's nothing. Nothing. It's just a personal secrecy thing. Okay. Well, Vicentia Sangariel in with the Radiant Odyssey. I will
Very
use
deep.
that information. I will make great use of that information. Thank you so much.
Good. You
Um,
are welcome. Can we see the ghost now?
Ah, yes, fine. Come with me. Just get out of my manor. And he quickly stands up. You follow me. He waves to like 6 or so guards outside. Open the way to the dungeons. And you were led. Give me a sec. He takes you down to the manor dungeons. You're sort of led from the black marble foyer, past several rooms and hallways, and then he takes you to a thick cellar door that's very obviously like meant to hold things in, and down a narrow, twisting stairwell with walls made of this like oppressive dark stone, very dimly lit. Eventually, you start to hear the sound of dripping water. You walk for about 2 minutes down these stairs, and then you come out into a dark chamber. Past another thick door. This chamber's got like one dim torch at the far end. And there are 4 narrow cells on the right and 4 on the left. Sort of wrought iron bars barring all of them. Sect quickly just shuffling through a key ring, shuffles to the furthest most cell on the right and then says, "Here, this is your ghost of a lass. I keep my word, do with him what you will. And then get out of my manor." And he just opens the gate and just, or opens the lock, shoves open the gate, and gestures you in.
Into the jail cell?
You can look in.
I'm going to look.
I'm gonna lean over and slam the gate back shut before Sect can open it all the way and say, "Put that key back in the lock, you sniveling moron."
It's fine. He's chained to the wall, idiot.
Yeah. Fantastic.
And
We'll
you-
take.
And you're very pleased that that's good enough? Do you
Trust
not hear
me.
rumors of these men?
Trust me. He's got the fight knocked out of him. These greenskins, you know.
Greenskin.
He points into the cell. Sitting within, dressed in familiar black armor, the black and leather armor of the ghosts of Alas, with a blindfold around his head, is a black-haired ghost who is most assuredly not Tobias.
Oh my fucking god.
It is an orc. Sect! Damn you, Sect! Who is that there? I can see them. More people to ogle at me.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yes, as I said, I found him unconscious under the sewers of Manor Serobar. I believe he was trying to break in to the manor when he was attacked by some creatures underneath the sewers. Anyway, my men found him in the sewers and we brought him here.
This
Shit.
has been the biggest waste of time.
I think I hate you.
Yes. As I said, interrogate him all you want for the journal. But thank you for the information. It wasn't relevant so much anymore, and I kind of wish I didn't know it. But there's your ghost of a last. Take him, do with him what you will. He's not really my problem anymore.
He's ours to take. Then
Yes, feel free. He hands you the entire key ring. And get out of my manor.
I'm gonna look at the other prison cells. Who else is there?
The rest of them are actually empty. You see this orc just saying, Sect, I know you've brought criminals to try and purchase me. I'm not some trophy, damn it. He's again just chained to the wall.
What is your name, Orc?
Who are you?
My name is Vasilios. I'm a Tidehunter, and we've unfortunately mistaken you for someone else. But if you could be of use to us, we might think about letting you out of here.
Who have you? Maybe diplomacy check.
That's a 3 on the die plus 10. It's a 13.
Okay. With a 13, he seems suspicious of you.
We're looking for one of your own, an excommunicated member.
You're looking for Tobias, aren't you?
Yes.
that's right.
Tidehunters, if you unchain me, perhaps we can help each other. I came to this city in search of Tobias Vector.
That's why you under Manor Serobar. That's where he's hit. That's where he was.
Yes, I believe he has made his base of operations within Manor Serobar.
Say nothing more. Say nothing more. We are getting you out of here. Just shut up.
He stopped speaking.
Unchain him.
I take the keys.
You see Sect and his men have just left the dungeon.
Yeah.
They're just gone.
I'll open it up and I'll go to the chains and
Okay. You Vasilios unchains this orc and he just thank you.
Sect is gone, you said, Mike?
Yeah, he seemed to lose interest and leave.
I'm gonna take out a cup of water and drench and
Thank you. He sips the cup of water.
Bardis' manor has been burned to the ground. The Black Scars have been driven out.
Black Scars? Then it's true. Tobias has made alliance with fell pirates.
And his spy master is in control of a sea titan.
A sea titan?
Tenebradon.
I can't say I know what that is. But here, let's get the hell out of this manor. I've spent too long in the hospitality of this man.
Come on, let's get him out of here.
Okay.
I know all too well what these places do here.
I help him up.
Okay, yeah. He's muscular. He's bulky.
He's still not like he wasn't like starved or anything here.
Not as muscular as he might have been. He's not looking
Still
great.
big.
But,
How tall is he?
He's pretty tall.
An orc.
Yeah, he's probably like 6'6".
Ma's gonna say in Elvish to Ilo, watch him. Ma does not trust him, nor should we, any of us, trust him.
I'll respond in Elvish.
I'm gonna like wave my hand over his blindfold as I help him up. I'll never understand this.
He sort of frowns and says, "It is a trade secret. Interesting that you know I can see through this.
We've dealt with Tobias in the past.
He's sort of like the shadows. He seems to be able to see right through them. He just shuffles forward. I suppose my swords. Have you seen them?
Yes.
Sect has
Sect.
been turned over its fireplace.
Well, I'll be damned if I'm not going to get them back. And he shuffles out of the dungeon.
Come on, let's go. I want to be out of this place.
Is there
I'm gonna saunter over to Maul.
is there a problem, Maul?
We should watch him very carefully.
All right, if you say so. You're the one with the eyes.
He comes out of the dungeon, strides towards the foyer, just sees his swords over the mantelpiece and just grabs them, just puts them under one arm and says, "All right, let's get the hell out of here."
What did you say your name was?
I didn't. I am Dumak.
Dumak. All right. I'm just gonna look at this. Can I just burn this place to the ground, please?
You're asking me. I would say no, just because, I mean, when Sect leaves this place, it could be a haven for refugees, other things. Who knows?
My trigger finger is itching.
This is true. You could burn the other mansion down to the ground, the one he's moving into.
Your finger has
Cleanse the manor, then burn it to the ground.
I look at Baji kind of seriously for a second.
To my recollection, your finger has itched before, and it hasn't worked out too well.
That's why I'm asking you.
I say leave it. Tides, he might have left something behind that we can find later.
Drench me.
Drench you? Is that what you said?
My face. Drench me.
Oh.
Maul's gonna spit on Baji.
I'm just gonna press the digitate because I can do that instead.
You see Dumak just sort of Matt Murdock just turns sort of halfway looking at the ground. What the hell have I gotten myself into? And then he just shuffles out of the manor.
Love this guy.
As I get just slapped with water, I'm just gonna. Okay, let's do this. And yeah, I head out of the manor.
He just shoves aside the wrought iron gate and the guards just parked before him. And then he just continues walking. Sect took my bloody scabbards. I'm gonna have to find them. Thank you for freeing me.
I hope you realize how much trouble we went to freeing you. Someone that we didn't even want to see. No offense.
None taken. Chances are Tobias has probably been making a lot of enemies in Thalassia. If you want to kill him, I would understand.
Yeah.
And getting himself captured like that does sound like one of his schemes. He's always been a master of improvisation.
Yes, I take it your master. What's his face?
Z,
the Black
X.
Revenant.
Yeah.
Is not very happy with
Zareth.
him.
You know of Master Zariath?
Yeah, we've been around quite a lot. Heard a lot of stories.
Well, to be honest, he sort of saddles up to an alleyway, sort of just crouches down. To be honest, I'm not sure Master Zariath knows. Tobias chose very cleverly the time he fled our order. He waited until my master was on the other side of the world taking care of a problem, taking a lot of the ghosts with him, and then he chose to steal the artifact and flee our headquarters, and came to Thalassia.
What problem is that?
Bars, above my pay grade. But if I know Zariath, it was a significant one. He only mobilizes when there are existential threats to countries, or even the world itself.
And do you know where he is now, at least pre your capture?
It took us months to get to Thalassia. You see, we followed Tobias's trail, but apparently he was killed. He boarded a ship called the Snakefair. The ship and
Many of its crew members were slain when it was attacked by a pirate named Berengar.
As it so happens, very few of us actually died on that ship.
Berengar is dead.
I know Berengar is dead. We saw the prison, but he looks up at you. Are you a survivor of the Snake Fair? Wait a minute. He observes you. You're Ilo, aren't you? I've heard descriptions of you back in Jetsam.
Right. Iloden Terennial. I'm gonna offer him my hand.
He takes it and just sort of props himself up.
Iloden Terennial. I think the entire situation, a few of the ghosts turned back at that point. We found the wreckage of the ship. Tobias seemingly was killed. The rumor said he was captured and killed by Berengar, but we then sought out Berengar and found out he was killed too by, some say by the Farinori elves and some say by a group of adventurers, but...
That was us too. In particular, was a friend of ours named Craven, the son of the man who actually was just holding you hostage.
That's what the Thalassians say.
All things.
But besides that, we several of the ghosts turned back when they figured Tobias was dead, but to be honest, the situation reeked of his abilities for improvisation. I began to suspect, against my better judgment, that he had gone at great lengths to fake his death and hide and confuse what really happened there.
That's exactly
What'd you say?
That's exactly what he did. He jumped ship to Berengar's ship before Berengar's devilfish dragged us down the tributary over that waterfall.
Made nest in Azor-Quer, where I was residing.
Zorquare. I knew I should have gone to Zorquare.
No one assumes the armpit.
We sent several ghosts to southern Thalassia, a few to Tidalis, one to Starhaven. I myself ventured to Veneus. Knowing Tobias's history, I figured it was a safe bet, especially once we found out that Serobardius was killed. That he was still alive, and that he'd gone to his old home city.
You said your master, he only arises when there are existential threats to countries?
Or to the world.
Where was he when Cancun fell?
Existential, demonic, those sorts of threats. He doesn't get involved in the politics of human kingdoms and human companies.
Or maybe he should be paying more attention. Because mark my words, your master needs to get here now. Because what Tobias is planning to do will spell doom for all of us.
Oh. If I know him, he's on his way. Hopefully he'll be here. But the thing is, he was on the other side of the planet. It will take him some time.
Months.
Perhaps.
Well, then he won't reach here fast enough. Okay. Let's get to our ship. And are we there by now?
Yeah, you sort of stopped and were talking to him in an alleyway. But he stands back up and just muttering to himself. He just straps both of his twin swords sort of through his belt loop, and just takes off his blindfold.
Feels good to see with my eyes again, I suppose.
Do you have any allies here in the city?
A few informants here and there. I came alone. We sent 2 to Azor-Quer, 2 to Coralia, but I came to Veneus. Once I sniffed him out, and made the assumption he was living in the Manor Serobar, I tried to sneak in through the sewers. Unfortunately, there were some creatures down there, monsters of some kind. They ambushed me in the darkness. I was able to see them, but there were too many of them, and they got me with a few traps. I fought them off and managed to escape down a canal, and from there fell into unconsciousness. And that's where Sect's men picked me up.
You ran into Agathos. They've been taken care of, as has been the rest of the Serobar Manor. But we did not see Tobias. He
No.
hasn't been seen at all.
He travels with another one. His old associate.
Toldir.
Toldir, yes.
He was there, but no Vector.
They will be by each other's side. When Tobias first joined the order alongside me, Toldir didn't join. He went into a nearby town and took up trade as a carpenter, but he always kept a close eye on Tobias. I don't think Tobias ever really sacrificed his connection to the man.
No, he didn't. Toldir is a close ally. He's one of the few people I think Tobias genuinely cares about.
That's not true. He cared about me.
So much that he betrayed your order.
He's a complicated person. I wanted to speak to him, but what can I say? He's the greatest of us. The greatest of us who's not the master, anyway. He was Zariath's greatest student, and he was always driven by a sense of tremendous justice. He wants to help people and do the right thing.
Yeah, he's doing that by allying with the Black Scars, who pillage and burn villages, men, women, and children.
If I had to guess, he's using them for some reason, and likely plans on betraying them.
And yet, innocent blood is on his hands.
That's true.
Who
Though-
was he to you anyway?
He was my friend. We joined the order together, all three of us.
3?
I don't like to talk about her. We grew up alongside each other. We trained together. We went on missions together throughout our entire lives. Tobias was naturally gifted. The most naturally talented person I've ever met in my life, I think. He was driven by something. Some tremendous emotions. Like, you know how continents move around. There's this deep movement in the earth, the roots of the earth, that shifts them. Or the magma of volcanoes. The deep power. You might never see it in your life. You may never see it move, but when it does explode, it explodes. That is the sort of emotion that drives him.
I know the feeling.
What do you know of Vector's past? His home life prior to the ghosts?
We generally forswear our pasts when we join. He let me know more than he let most know, I believe, which is why I had the insight to come to Veneas. His family ruled here 20 years ago, and before that, they were wiped out. Tobias escaped, Toldir saved him, and eventually they found their way to the goats, and the master took Tobias in. As I said, Toldir stayed nearby always, but I don't believe he just came here to take revenge on the Serobars. That's not his method of operation.
Agreed. If that were true, he would have probably killed the boy and taken his rightful seat.
The boy, is he all right?
We have him looked after.
I'm just
Tobias
gonna
told
look
me
at.
not to
I'm just gonna look at Vasilios.
Tobias told me once that his end game was bigger than this. So I asked him the very question, what are you still doing? Serobar is dead. And he said I was thinking too small.
I'll say, everything changed when it was a mission, led by the Master himself. We attacked a family from Neos and took an artifact from their possession. It was a blue stone. We
know it. We know what you're talking about.
You attacked
do.
the Velas and you took a Hearthstone.
The Velas, yes. A Heartstone, it was called. Tobias, he was the second in command of that mission. He was the one who secured the stone from the carriage, and he presented it to our master, but something in his eyes. I should have read him then. He points to his own eyes. It changed him to some degree. I believe he was already in the process of changing, but him finding that stone Only a few months later, he escaped with it.
You said you should have read him. You can read people's emotions?
Yes,
Well, maybe a diplomacy check.
I'm gonna detect evil on this guy while we're sitting around.
27 on diplomacy.
You detect no evil on him.
Okay.
He looks up at you, Baji.
well, I suppose I've told you this much. We ghosts are in possession of an ability called aura sight. We don't need our eyes to see. The master trains us in techniques that allows us to see into the ethereal essence of a person's being.
Vector
Sense-
mentioned something like that.
Sense their soul, sense their emotions, and sometimes sense their thoughts. But more than anything else, it allows us to, well, connect with others to some degree.
Read me for a second.
Maw first. Maw first.
Read Maw then.
Yeah, it is not a parlor trick. It is an essential part of our order, an aspect of our beings, our understanding of what it means to.
Maw doesn't believe you can do it.
I can do it.
He just readjusts his blindfold on himself and looks
No.
over you, Ma.
Leave the blindfold off.
It makes it easier.
I'd like to see what happens to your eyes.
He takes it off. He just opens his eyes and they just flash blue. And then they begin to just radiate blue, similar almost to Ilo. But he begins reading you, Ma.
Sense savagery, bloodlust, but also an alien disconnection from the world. A bunch of other things, but to be honest, I've never been as good a reader as Tobias.
You touched Maw's heart. Thank you.
Hey, Maw.
What?
Does the name Goshian mean anything to you?
No, I'm afraid it doesn't. Goshian, though I haven't often been in this part of the world.
Noted. And I'm just gonna exchange a look with Baji.
I'm gonna nod. Interesting. Okay. Well,
Let's get back to the ship. We're too exposed here.
are we not in the ship?
No, I assumed you were still walking.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's go in. So what do we do, gentlemen? Would you like to pay? Do you think we should rest for a bit and pay Goshian a visit? I think I'm ready to pay the master a visit, train a little bit.
Yeah.
Maw believes we should not hesitate. We should be moving on in our venture.
Why don't you, Vasilius and Ma, see what you can get out of our friend here, and Ilo and I will go to Goshian. Fair enough?
Well, and Maw's gonna switch to Elvish. Maw's not very good at talking to strange men.
I agree. I don't think we should be splitting up just yet.
I think it would be quite interesting to see Goshian and this man interact.
Perhaps. I'm gonna look around. How safe is the ship compared to Goshian's academy? Maybe we should take him there.
I'd say it's about the same.
Man, what we have to do next? We don't know anything. This lead has turned up sort of dead. Again, no offense. We don't know where Vector and Toldir may have gone now. And all we have is Diado.
Then we solve the problem in front of us. Can't. The leads have run dry. But we have a problem in front of us. Let's deal with that. And something tells me that given where we are, we chase that long enough, and it'll all fold back in on itself.
All right. Well, then why don't we rest for tonight? See what tomorrow brings. I am going to see Goshain either way because I need to train.
Me too.
I think I have a few things to discuss with him as well.
Well,
Alright.
Maul might as well come.
All right.
Okay. You guys head to Goshine's then?
Yep.
Do you take Dumac with you?
If he'll come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hesitantly, he follows you.
I'll be honest, I feel like I'm out of friends in this city now. This place is a den of snakes.
Well, if this is a den of snakes, I assure you we're going to meet the badger.
Maul can turn into a lion.
Or is it a mongoose? Either
I
way.
think it's mongoose. Mongoose. They kill cobras and have immunity to their venom.
That's one.
Okay. This ghost hesitantly follows you. You see people just sort of looking at him. This guy who's just like sort of looking at people almost wildly. Just released from prison. He's just got two bare swords strapped to his belt, and he's just sort of. But yeah, he follows you to the academy, where you see Goshain just in meditation in the center of the courtyard.
I'm
His
going
eyes,
to,
his eyes flash blue, and he just smirks to himself as you walk in.
yeah, I'm just gonna walk in and bow, Master. We've come to train, and I think we've brought a friend, someone that you might know.
Okay. Somebody I know, or somebody possessed of a similar ability at least. And he just opens his eyes, which are still just flashing blue. Oh, not every day a ghost strides into my academy.
Have the same abilities.
It is a technique you learn with time and discipline. It is not something inherently supernatural. You do not need access to magical abilities to learn this. You simply need force of will. And you see Dumac just stride over to him. You were trained in this.
You were trained in this ability.
Yes. I believe we had similar teachers in that regard. How do the rest of you react to this?
I'm
You
not
were-
saying anything.
Yeah,
You
I'm
were
just
trained by the
watching them.
Black Revenant.
Well, if you walk the earth long enough, you are bound to meet a legend now and again. We crossed blades once or twice. Eventually, we struck up something of a friendship, and he taught me this ability. It allows me to see in places where sight is impossible for others. It allows me to push and pull with other beings. You see, I can sense your emotions, your intentions, your next moves. Invaluable in combat, you understand. If I know who you are, I know what you're going to do next, and I can counter it.
Do you teach that ability to your students often?
No, it is a very powerful ability. The few of us Blade Lords I've taught it to, we save it for those who have achieved mastery.
Well, mastery is what I'm here for. To train. Shall we?
Are you asking to be, what are you training in?
I'm continuing my training in Lushayan. Or is it
Okay.
Lucian?
Yeah, Shine.
This will be the third day.
Okay. You actually, Goshayan waves a lot of you away. I would like to speak with the ghost for a little while. I have not seen my old friend in a long time.
Of course. We'll give you privacy.
Perhaps young Dumac. And Dumac sort of blanches because nobody had spoken his name. Perhaps young Dumac
you could stay at my academy for a little while. Help you get back on your feet. And the ghost just sort of nods.
I'm gonna go take my room that I usually go to.
Okay. And Goshayan gestures for the orc to follow him, and they both retreat into another room.
Before he does, I'm going to grab Dumak by the shoulder and just say, if anyone asks about Griff, he's dead.
As you say. To be honest, I thought I would be bringing justice and order to this city, but just from what I've seen of you fellows, it seems like you've beaten me to the punch on that one.
I'm just going to raise my eyebrow at this.
I will speak with this Blade Lord, and we will begin early preparations for seeing what Tobias is, finding him. If I can talk some sense into him.
He just begins muttering to himself as he walks away.
I'm gonna walk over to Ma, and say, "You don't mind my saying? You seemed a little overzealous in your mistrust of him. Any reason for that?"
Well, Ma just doesn't trust anyone connected to Tobias.
Fair enough. Is that it? Is that the only reason?
Well, that's really it. Ma does Ma need more reasons?
No.
Part of the same order, raised together. Ma seems a little suspicious of him.
Fair enough. I'm curious. And I'm gonna nod to Ma. Then I'm gonna go over and pick up the wooden training glaive that I was using earlier, and start going through reform.
I'm going to draw my talwar and start going through forms with that. Far away from Ilo.
Okay, and Vasilios, what are you doing?
If they're both training with him, I guess I'm not gonna have a word edgewise, so I'm just gonna rest for now.
Okay.
Ma's just gonna meditate on the edge of the combat.
Okay. And with new discoveries being made, new plans being set in motion, and there still being a rift in the Baji Ilo bromance, I think that's what we're going to call it.
So we get 12,000 XP for finishing that quest line of figuring out Tobias wasn't actually in there.
Yeah.
That is what I heard.
Yeah, 3,000 XP so that we can get leveled up for next round. And be all
honestly,
psyched.
that sounds not bad. I'll think about it. I'll definitely think about it.
Oh, come on! I would level up tonight. We could roll right now for health.
Right? Yeah.
We could come on. Let's do it.
All right. Fine.
Yeah.
You each are
level 9
at exactly 75,000 XP. For finishing out the who the hell was in the Sect Family Dungeons questline.
That's right.
Hey, you were on that for a bit, all right?
Yeah, it was never Tobias.
I'm so mad.
No, I'm gonna level with you, Mike. I had your fucking number. As soon as you were like, it's a ghost of Velas, I was like, that shit ain't Tobias.
Yeah. Baji probably spent like an hour total of game time, like just fucking asking about the journal, just like searching the Sect family's house for the journal, and I'm just like, he doesn't have the fucking journal, man. It's not fucking Tobias.
Didn't even get the journal.
I thought that he had Tobias, but Tobias, like, why was Tobias carrying Baji's journal around, sort of thing? Like, he probably just left it somewhere else.
Yeah, that's true. You know, you probably wouldn't have it on him. Either, but yeah, I mean, like,
Oh shit! I forgot about this. And my archetype as a feral shifter at 9th level, when a feral shifter uses her animal focus ability, she selects 2 different animal aspects for herself instead of 1. So now I can pop like a bull's strength and like a bear's endurance
Ooh.
Oh,
at the
that's pretty
same time.
Yeah, I wanna see Maw have God strength.
Yeah.
And it counts as 1, I believe.
I was talking
Yeah,
about
yeah. So it's only 1 discharge. So I picked 2, and it's only 1 discharge. That's
I was telling Tim about this the other day when we were like I love flavoring Maul leveling up as not him becoming stronger, but just him reattaining the levels he was already
Yeah.
at inside
in
Virtuous
the
training.
Indo.
That's good.
Like he was already this powerful. He's just reality here is a bit denser and he has to get used to it. Sort of.
We're gonna kill. This is our 2nd level in Venice, guys. We're gonna kill everyone.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
We're doing pretty all right.
I will say, if you throw enough men with swords at you, you know, like realistically, you guys would have trouble with like 40 or 50 men, you know,
Right now.
because they were just
Realistically, that's where Mike draws the line. 40 or 50 guys against the 4 of us.
yeah. But you know,
if I hit
40 or 50 men is like not a lot of guys when it comes to one of these noble houses, you know.
empowered fireball though.
But that's what I'm saying, you know. You could
Wait,
you
can I
could
do
decimate
that?
several, but like there's a point where just their sheer
Never mind, I can't even do that.
turn order just gets to you.
Yeah.
You know. That's just because there's yeah. So I take these recordings, I encode them so that I can use them on the video editing software, edit them like crazy, and then I have to render them after. To basically the rendering is like putting it into an exportable form that I can then upload to whatever. So it's like, but yeah, these I thought I was like, I'll render this real quick and see it today and see if how they like it, and it was just like 13 hours remaining, and I was sitting there for like 10 minutes, and like a minute of the video got rendered, and I was like,
And
okay, no,
I
I'm
have
not doing this
6
right now.
gigs of graphics to render that with, and it just it doesn't matter. The processing and graphic power it
none
takes
of
to.
none of the videos right now are ready to be uploaded.
Well, you know, I'm mostly done with I think 3 or 4. Like I did the Battle of Manor Serobar. It's pretty fucking awesome. I did Royal Blood. I did I'm doing the first one, the Mask of Lights, which is fucking terrible because like you guys didn't tell me that my audio fucking sucks when I'm playing music in the background, like ambience music. So I'm trying to speak in the video, and I literally have to go through and like find all of my particular audio and just ramp it way the fuck up. And so it's like in the normal video, I'm like nah, 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 nah. Then I have to go and find that, isolate it, ramp it all the way up so that I go and then basically do that like a shit ton of times. And then still like a lot of the time it doesn't fucking work because it was just like, oh, it wasn't a matter of quiet or loud, it was a matter of the mic just didn't fucking pick that up because there was some dumbass ambient music in the background that the mic was trying to pick up instead.
Was that when we weren't using headphones?
Yeah, so it was just like, so that's a problem. Also a problem is just like weird ambience, you know, just weird background music. So I have to run basically noise reduction software and dialogue processing software like on the audio to make it easier to fucking hear. So the Mask of Lights, the first ever session, not great. I'm doing my best, but it's just like the video quality for me is not great, you know, because I was using my shitty laptop video. So, but the rest of them,
I mean,
pretty fucking good.
That's still a pretty good like running speed.
Yeah, I've actually, you know, I've gotten pretty familiar with DaVinci Resolve in the past like 2 weeks. You know, I get up at like 8 a.m. and probably spend I go to about 1 p.m. just editing these videos.
Jesus.
Yeah, so that's about 5 hours. Yeah. But yeah, I'm making a lot of progress. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'll say this: I've been ending every edited video with us just talking as it slowly fades to black.
Yeah.
And then just the sound of waves crashing on shore.
That's cool.
And then it's just blackness, and then you just hear the waves crashing for like 10 more seconds, and then it just ends.
Okay, that's really cool.
Yeah.